Teacher Esther again for another lesson. We are going to have a good lesson again where we are going to learn about numbers. Glory, are you attentive? Are your ears attentive? Show me your ears. Do like this. Are your eyes ready to see Teacher Esther? Sit properly, cross your legs like this and listen to Teacher Esther. Look at me now. Are you looking at me? Great. And Alan, are you also doing the same? Jed, are you doing the same? Okay, now we are having another lesson, as I told you, a lesson about numbers. A lesson about numbers. Do you know how to count? I know you know how to count. Count for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know how to count. Okay, let us count again. Let us count our fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this hand, you have 5 fingers. You have 5 fingers. But now today, we are going to look at number 1. Number 1. When we are learning to count, we start counting from number 1. We cannot count 0. Tell mommy we cannot count 0. It is not countable. Are you hearing me? 0, it is not a number. We are counting from 1 up to 5. Are you ready, all kids at home? 3 years up to 5 years. Are you hearing me? 0, it is not a number. Number 1, it is what we are going to start with. We can count 1. We can count 1. Everybody say 1. Say 1. Say 1. Number 1. Number 1. Repeat after the teacher. Number 1. Number 1. I also have my number 1 here. Are you saying my number 1? Number 1. Everybody say number 1. Number 1. Yes, this is my number 1. Do you have a number 1 at home? Yes, this is number 1. Number 1. And how do you write number 1? How do you write number 1? Number 1. You know a number 1? Number 1, it is just like a stick. It is like a what? A stick. And how do you write number 1? A standing stick, straight. You see my number 1, it is just straight. It is not bent like this. It is not like this, but straight. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Everybody say number 1. A standing stick, straight. How do you write number 1? A standing stick, straight. Do like this. Put up your hand and put up your one finger like this. Let us write number 1 together. Number 1. Number 1. How to write number 1? A standing stick, straight. Again, a standing stick, straight. Again, a standing stick, straight. Again, a standing stick, straight. Number 1. Let us write number 1. A standing stick, straight. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. And let us also count our fingers. Notice one hand is having 5 fingers. 5 fingers. Okay, let us count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 fingers on one hand, and we are starting starting to count from number 1. From number 1. Number 1. Let us count all even these things. I have bottles here. Let us count them. We start with number 1. Count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, 5 bottles. Let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bottles. 5 bottles. But the one which is the first one is 1. 1. We have 1 bottle here. All of these ones, I take them off. 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 We have 1 bottle. 1 bottle. This is 1 bottle. And how to write number 1 again? A standing stick straight. A standing stick straight. Number 1. Number 1. Let me show you my number 1 here. Here I have my number 1. My number 1. Here is number 1. Here, number 1. And how do you write number 1 again? Number 1, we write it a standing stick straight. How do you write number 1? A standing stick straight. How do you write number 1? A standing stick straight. Do like this. A standing stick straight. Number 1. Number 1. You see, this here is my number 1. And here, what you're going to do, you're going to tell mommy at home to draw for you something like this. Like this. You color number 1. You're going to shade number 1. Shade number 1. I think you can shade with me. Let us shade together like mine. You see my red? My number 1, it is red. Do you see it here? Yeah? Number 1. How to write number 1, Claire? Again, Glory, Alan, Kato. And a standing stick straight. A standing stick straight. That is how we write number 1. Okay, here we are going to color number 1. We are going to color together number 1. Color number 1. We color together. Let us color together. Let us shade together number 1. You get your crayon, your color at home. I know mommy bought for you some colors at home. You shade again. We are shading number 1, a standing stick straight. A standing stick straight. Don't forget it is number 1. I like shading, shading, shading. I like shading, shading, shading. Make sure you shade inside the number 1. Number 1. I like shading, shading, shading. 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 I like shading. Yay! This is our number 1. Awesome. Number 1. A standing stick straight. A standing stick straight. This is number 1. Okay. And let us sing a song for number 1. Do you like to sing with me? Now you're going to sing with me number 1. Number 1. Number 1, number 1, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? Number 1, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? Number 1, where are you? Here I I am, how do you do? And let us go even to my chart here. Number one, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? Number one, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? Number one, shake your body. Here I am, how do you do? Okay, I think you have had a good lesson today with number one, with teacher Esther. And I'm just reminding you to tell mommy not to forget to comment with your work, and tell mommy or daddy to press a notification bell so that you cannot miss any lesson from teacher Esther. And don't forget also to tell daddy or mommy to subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching me. Thank you. I love you. Bye bye. God bless you.